Just kidding. Hi, everybody. We remembered, because we didn't have to remember. The mic is hot. Welcome to the Tris Green Show. We're coming in live from
Murrell's, Inlet, South Carolina.
Don't they also call it Myrtle Beach?
Well, no, they don't call this Myrtle Beach, but Myrtle Beach is right next door.
Well, we're just a neighbor. Well, hi there. We, no matter what, we're going to get in here and be with you today because...
Check out our staircase.
Oh, yeah. We're staying at a place called the Palooza. It's not a hotel. It's an Airbnb with our friend Kim Walsh-Phillips, who had us out here for her Launch Academy Live, and we have been the Energizer Bunnies for the event.
This is, we just kicked off day 1 of 3 days. Yeah, and it's been really great to be here as the energy experts, and we've been calling ourselves the shift.
The State Shifters.
State Shifters.
Yes, that's our new title, State Shifters.
Yes, State Shifters.
Hi, Susan. Hello, Debbie. Trish, you got a twofer in. I saw you in class earlier. And we've got Josie here. Hi, Jackie.
So we set up for the show like a half hour ago when the sun was still setting.
It was nice and bright.
And now it's very dark here.
But we'll roll with it. You're looking nice and bright.
We have a lamp.
We have lamps. So yeah, you take your stuff with you and you show up and shine.
That's
no
right.
matter what.
Yeah.
So since we've been here, we've noticed something really cool about being a teacher. You can teach anywhere, right? So many of you are certified in our programs. You teach Qigong or you teach and coach in a different modality, and you find yourself in different settings, right? Sometimes you're in a classroom setting, sometimes you're maybe doing a workshop, other times it's one-on-one, maybe through Skype, or like we're doing right now on Zoom. We're having this free training.
On Zoom.
I'm sorry, on Facebook. We've been on Zoom all day. In fact, we've got some fun pictures to show you of what we would call Zoomzilla. It's been walls and walls of people inside of this live event, and it's all hosted through a Zoom platform. So the world has shifted, as you know. You've probably been on more than one Zoom session of your own, and or not that you hosted it, but maybe you did. I don't know. I'd love to know in the chat if anybody here has been doing live events with all the changes in the world. Hello, Brian. Good to see you here, buddy. But what we're learning is that there's a different way that you can show up as a teacher in all these different settings.
Yeah.
And you don't want to lose yourself or lose your connection with your audience when you're teaching. And so we're going to talk a little bit about some insights and things we're learning about this and share them with you.
Yeah, and also the value. So we're so into energy. This is a little video I want to show of us pulling up to where we are so you can see
You'll
the
have
outside.
to hold it up. I don't have a plug for that today. Sorry.
Okay.
I'd love to. Well, maybe I can share it into another place. Okay, why don't you share and I'll do this.
And because what we are here to help people manage their energy so they can go through this 3-day event on a business program. And our kind of role, besides just being here to support our friends who are putting on this event, and these friends are like family, and we're all staying in this Airbnb together. It's not an Airbnb. Is it Airbnb?
It's
I guess
Airbnb.
it is. And it's called the Palooza. So we're here with our friend Kim Walsh-Phillips and her husband, and Kim's assistant, and a hair and makeup artist, and her Facebook expert, and we're all like hanging out in the house together, and that's just super, super fun. And so first, let's just talk about, we have never been to Murrell's, Inlet, South Carolina, or to Myrtle Beach. So for those of you that are all over the world, and I had always heard about Myrtle Beach. I had always heard like, oh yeah, that's where you should go for your vacation spot. Oh, that's so much better, baby.
Is it?
Yeah, he's moving the lamp. Oh yeah, and I am like getting a suntan now.
Way too much.
No, I like it. So the houses are like on stilts. I guess there's a lot of flooding. Maybe there's hurricanes. So all the houses you park underneath the car. So the second
Underneath the house. Park the car under the house.
So the second floor is the first floor, and vice versa. And we'll have pictures we can show you of all that at some point. But it's kind of the norm. And so it has a little bit of that Georgia plantation feel, but different because of the house being on stilts, and it's also like this fishing beach town. And there's a studio here. It's called a Sage, and Sage events. They produce Tony Robbins, Mary Morrissey, Russell Brunson.
Yeah, they do a lot of big events.
Lots and lots of events.
It's been great learning from them.
So that's kind of the benefit of being here. And then I actually think it's so interesting for all of us that love energy and understand the value of it, that in this business situation that we've been asked to come and help people manage their energy. So the conversations that we've been having is energy is what gives you follow through. That was what we were saying this morning, that without energy, without having the ability to shift your physical body's energy, without having the ability to shift your mind and to reconnect to your heart, a lot of people go into a downward spiral and they quit and they give up, not because they don't have the talent and not because they don't have great ideas and not because they don't have a lot of potential and not because they don't love what they do, but simply because it's like a phone. It's like a phone that has so much potential. Maybe it's the iPhone 13. It has all the things, but you don't have a plug. I was joking the other day, and I was like, okay, you're a toaster, right. And your potential client for these business people, your potential client are the bread, and they're wanting to be toasted, and you can provide that service for them, but you didn't plug in. And a toaster is worthless unless it's plugged in, and that's what we love, is how do you plug into life, how do you plug into love, how do you plug into health, how do you plug into wellness, how do you plug into that charismatic confidence to just be so comfortable in your own skin, and then asking people to get up and move physically with us, and seeing all of the, I'm gonna call it head trash that people can have, like I don't know how to move, and it's like, you can move however you want, like anything's good, and seeing how much in life people have been held back from tapping into shifting their state because of some belief system that it has to be done right or it has to be done a certain way.
Sabrina was sharing with one of the owners today, Barry, about
owners of Sage.
Sage Studios. That's where we are. I think you mentioned all of that already. And Barry is phenomenal as a teacher. I mean, she used to produce and put on and run the events, and now does that with her husband Blue, and they're a phenomenal team. But she's so good at strategy, and she's also such a heart. And when she's speaking and connecting with the audience, you can tell she's in state. We've been talking about shifting state. And she drops into this place where it's just love, sharing with the words that hit home. There's not too many words, not too few words, just enough to share the message. And I love listening to her because her word choices are so congruent with what we feel as entrepreneurs and as spiritual beings.
And she's crafted them over the years to really speak so perfectly.
She's totally refined her words. And I think that's something for all of us, whether it's just in a relationship, right? Job, spouse, whatever. Or
use your words.
Use your words. With your clients, with your students, it's so important to choose words that are going to land, not just here, but here in the heart. And so when I listen to her, I think to myself, well, her energy is already flowing. She's in a good place. But sometimes we see other people, as you were saying, they disconnect and they become a different person. And it's like, who is this person that just showed up that's talking right now, or teaching or coaching? And they know it frustrates them, that they want to be in flow. And so Sabrina told Barry a story about when she was in New York and learning at the New York Playhouse.
Neighborhood Playhouse.
And you had a particular acting coach, or was that in LA?
No.
Talked about the river of emotion. I'd love for you to share about that, because that's what Sabrina shared, what she's about to with Barry, and Barry was like, yeah, that's totally it. And then we'll go into it more.
Yeah, well, when I studied at the Neighborhood Playhouse, first of all, it was a phenomenal experience. It was only 9 men and 9 women in each session. And it was Meisner Technique is the technique. And Meisner isn't about recalling something that happened in your life, because what if it hasn't? That was always my thing. It was about accepting an imaginary situation as truer than true. But the thing that fascinated me the most was that emotion is just a river. That we have this river of emotion, and the most important thing is that it is flowing. And it's like the saddest thing is when people say, I don't feel anything. Like that's the hardest, when you have, it's not called mediocrity. There's like this mundane, like it would be better to me to be really angry or really sad, because you can go from there to really happy, for me, because there is this energy behind it, and that emotion is a river of energy. And one of the most important things that you need to do before you have a conversation, before, if you're a teacher, before you work with your students, is to get that river flowing, so that your words and your communication is sitting on top of a river of energy.
I love
not
that. Can
empty.
I punch that out? It's sitting on top. So the emotion, which is energy, is a river, and then you lay your words on top of that. And we've actually been talking quite a bit about that in the Qigong classes that we teach, that your energy in the Life Force Dojo, your energy, what you're emitting, will carry your thoughts into things. People can feel your energy, but they can really feel it when you put your thought. And I don't mean that you say it out loud, but you're emitting it onto the energy. So I love that you're riding on that energy.
Yep.
And so when we were up first today to open,
and
we
isn't that fun, right?
Isn't
when
that
you're at
fun?
an event and you're like, okay,
I'll show you some pictures in a second. I mean, there's, in fact, why don't I pop one in right now,
that's
so that you
fun.
can kind of relate to what we're about to walk into. Now, this isn't exactly the angle, because we're actually, when we're outside off stage, and we're about to walk into this. It's coming. So we're seeing all of those people.
So we're actually, when we're teaching, we're facing the other direction where we can see everybody.
But before we're even out there with everyone, we're off stage, right? And so we see all the people, and they're eager and they're ready, and they're ready for the day, and you're out first. And if you just stand outside the door and run through your lines in your head and you're not moving the energy, you can feel a real disconnect.
Yeah.
And so what we do outside is we kind of bounce around a little bit, we dance a little bit, we play with each other, and we keep ourselves in a very light, playful place.
Yep.
So the emotion is running. There's something else that we do before that. When the room isn't fully open yet, and if you ever have this opportunity, it's so good to do. Like all those people, there's a point that there's a camera behind us that's going to show us to everyone. Well, there's a point before you go out where the camera is off, but you can see everyone. And so what we do is we walk in the room and we look at all the little squares, and we look at all the people, and we connect. We say their names out loud. They can't hear us. And we feel into each one. And this is something that we've taught with those of you who've ever studied any of our love-based business training. When you're doing like a challenge or something on Facebook, you see all the people who joined your group to be part of it. You go and you look at their profile and you try to connect energetically. So there's two things that you're doing energetically. One is you're looking and feeling the person and the audience. And number two is you're getting your energy flowing before you walk in. Right?
And that would be the same thing you want to do if you had a job interview. Any time you're going to, it's very similar to what we talked about in our last episode of the Trisbrina Wellness Show, was about connection.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's so awesome, because they always say the teacher teaches what the teacher should be learning. And so ever since we talked to you guys about really connecting with people and getting out of the robotic, we've been having just so much fun, because we go through security at the airport. We have our mask on, and like we said, they're like, can I see your face? And
I don't have the mask.
and
I would show
have
you
the
Sabrina's
mask,
technique.
and I'm like, are you ready? And it's
They
so
don't see her
awkward,
face
right?
yet. She's like this.
And I'm like, 1, 2, 3. And it's just like nobody does that, and just having that connection and that playfulness and that aliveness. We should have that in every situation. We're not just talking about business. We're talking about, you go to the bank, like every moment of your life is so precious. And to be completely present to it.
It changes everything.
And to know that one of our days is our last day. So, but don't just shuffle through them, and don't shuffle through your moments. There is no meaningless moment. There are only meaningful moments.
When we got off the plane, we got the rental car and we went out to get it, and we were walking around this big area trying to find the car. We finally got it, and it had a little dent and a bump, and so we had to talk to this lady about it before we were allowed to drive off the lot. And this could have been a very transactional kind of a exchange. It's like, well, the dent is here.
And we were tired.
Yeah, you've been traveling all day, layover stuff, and so you got to write on a piece of paper, and it's just very clinical. But that wasn't our experience. We're like, I don't even know what was said, but by the time the conversation was over, I knew that she was a grandmother. I knew that she had lived in Texas. I knew that she had lived in Maryland. I knew that she was moving back to Texas to spend more time with her grandchildren.
She had 3 grandkids.
I knew. So how does this happen?
Yeah.
Because the energy and the connection that you speak of, it goes so far. And when you're a teacher, a coach, and obviously we have many, many different certified instructors that come to trainings or to the wellness show like this, we want to keep reminding you guys, all of us, to connect ride on the energy first. Don't just walk in cold, and don't walk in like, there's something about just being present to the moment, and the moment presents the moment. And so we're out there teaching today and playing and passing the baton, if you will, to each other back and forth and coming up with moves. It wasn't choreographed, maybe a little.
No, not today.
Not today. And yet everyone enjoys it so much. And when you come off the stage, oh my gosh, that was so fun. That was so fun. Because that's the energy. People are buying into your energy.
Yep.
Right? So.
And I just want to say, yes, we love helping the coaches and teachers and healers, but this message that we're talking about is so much bigger than that. It's about being present to every moment of our lives. Like we talk about, let's say, health, wellness, vitality. What really invites that? Well, what invites that the most is being present to right now. Only being mindful of right now. Not bringing complaints from the past in with you. Not bringing this hurt yesterday in with you. Not bringing any story, but just being super present with someone in a light, playful way. And today I described it to Tristan as sometimes when we help people just move around, and we even said this during the training, we're like, this is not Jane Fonda and Billy Blanks and you don't need leg warmers. Please don't think this is like a exercise thing. Right. This is give your brain a break. And it reminded me of intermittent fasting when people say, oh yeah, when I wake up in the morning, I wait a few hours because all my food is digested, and I give my digestive system some time to heal, some time that I'm not asking something of it. And that's the way I feel with some of the movement modalities that we do. Not only do the movement modalities provide these incredible benefits, but it gives your brain a complete break from all the complaining and all the focusing on the negative and all the remembering of the past, and gives us a chance to forward think into all that is good. And so we were saying today that as state shifters, we not only move our bodies, but we move our thoughts. We move our thoughts towards positivity. And not only our thoughts, we move our hearts back to love every time it gets afraid of facing a challenge. Because that's what I find. When my heart shuts down, it's because of fear. It's because it feels awkward. And all you have to do is move it back. And those are so intertwined, moving the body and moving the thoughts and reconnected to the heart.
You know, lately we've been trying to come up with a very simple way to explain to people what it is that we do. What is this method? What is this Satori method? And she really just said it in a nutshell. It's through your body, through movement, getting back into your heart.
And
almost
movement
done.
is...
Almost done. Almost done. Zip. Just get one little sentence.
I was told.
Through your body, back into your heart, into your joy, into playfulness, so that...
Ladies, do you relate? Let me know what it is.
So that you can be a really fun, playful, conscious creator. So it's body, heart, life, right? That's pretty much it. So you were saying? Do you want to show more pictures, or do you want to?
So you can't show my phone? What can
I was
you
able to
show?
get your video onto my computer.
The one that, she's showing.
Okay.
So I'd love for you guys to see. We were going to take you outside for a stroll, but it's dark. But I filmed a little video as we pulled into the driveway. We left the studio to come here and be with you. And
Okay.
then we will be looking at your chat. Oh, there you all are. Hi.
They're all there. They're just, we can't see them as well today because we're on a little computer.
I see them. I can't
And
see
you
it.
see what I
I have
see.
to get glasses.
All right, so I will pop this in this video. Sabrina
This
took it.
is just us pulling in to, and then when you'll see, we'll focus on a house, and that house is called.
I thought it was a little longer than that.
Well, there's some more. I
can't
just
get
wanted
this.
to show, like, the houses here. They're so interesting. I filmed a lot out the car window.
I only have these other two things, so I'm going to put this. Isn't that cute?
So,
That's a
can they hear us?
That's a walk.
Yeah, this is there's like a pier here, and it's very marshy. They call it the Marsh Walk. And it's fed by the ocean, but the level of the marsh rises and falls. And so there's kind of like a little island of marsh, and one of the, I think it's the restaurant owner, there's all these goats, and they bring the goats to eat all the, grass in the marsh, and then in the winter he goes and gets them and takes them somewhere else and brings them back. So, and, it's so kooky when you visit a part of a country that you're like, I didn't know this was here. So here's what's really funny, and
While she's talking, can I show this?
Yeah.
And this is the street. There were some really cool homes.
See how everything is up on stilts in case there's a flood, or maybe I'm thinking hurricane. That it's just everything seems so tall because it's so high up in the air.
Anyway, that's the area. Some pretty cool. Yeah, the houses are all
Have any
up
of you
on
in the chat,
stilts.
have you been to Murrell's Inlet or Myrtle Beach? Myrtle Beach, I think, is more like family vacation. Murrell's Inlet is like right next door. Anyway, I forgot what I was going to say.
Gail said beautiful. Rachel said great advice on the energy flowing. Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of what we wanted to share is while we were there today and we were really
Where?
feeling
At the
studio, we were really seeing how, and there's somebody who is there. He was on American Idol. You probably remember
He was
him.
when Kelly Clarkson won. He was first runner-up. His name
Justin. I believe it's Garini.
Garini.
I could be saying that wrong. Sorry, Justin, if I got it wrong. But he obviously has been exposed to being in front of the camera, singing, performing. He's going to be on Broadway. Well, we're not allowed to say too much, but something cool off Broadway soon coming up. But super in flow and creative and fun and playful
Yeah.
because he gets his energy flowing.
Yep.
And that's what enables you to be charismatic. That's what enables you to be impromptu in the moment.
Yeah.
And because sometimes something happens and you just have to be able to just feel it right there. That's such a great quality.
It is.
To stay light even when something gets a little crazy.
Yeah, so like on the set, the people who are able to almost be playful and jovial, maybe a sarcastic in a sweet way, like a little bit of like needling if somebody says something like, hey, it so lightens the load. And what I saw was it's the people who are present to the moment that are able to respond
It's
in that
present
way.
to the moment. Yes, because when we would talk to Justin, and we'll see him again over the course of the next 2 days, he looks you right in the eye. He's smiling. He's just there. That's everything. right? That's the key. That unlocks all that incredible
Because
energy.
he's doing what he loves. He loves performing. And
He sure does. And he's there learning how to grow his business,
Yep.
which is just a beautiful extension of serving others. So that's why we talk about this stuff with you guys. And, it's part of our life. It's what we do. We're really here to help our coaches, our teachers, and everyone that's part of Satori to be in this beautiful flowing energy. And then if you choose to shape that into a business or something, gorgeous, wonderful, do it. We're here to help if we can.
and it's just when people hear what we're all doing and hear all of our stories, then this one's like, hey, my wife has this back pain. Hey, this person has fibromyalgia, and they start asking, for can you guys help? And I just really love that when someone recognizes there are choices and there are modalities and there are alternative ways to stay healthy.
Hi, Allie. I see you popping in. And Gail. And everyone, I just want to thank you for the shares that you've been putting in the chat. It's always so cool. Trish says, I'll try that, the technique we were talking about earlier with my college students. I'm in person, and I can tell half the time they all wear masks and they look like they're asleep. Yeah, right? It's totally like being able to read the eyes is a trick too. We talked about that in the last Whispering show where we were in Marin County, and I went in this little smoothie shop, and I noticed that the girl that was helping me, her eyes were smiling. And I said, when she had the mask on, we all had masks on, I said, I can tell you're smiling because your eyes are smiling. It's so incredible to read the body language, and you can also read the energy, you can feel it. And when you can do that, you can really connect with another human being where they're at. And that we could go into a whole other conversation about students and audiences and things, and we won't. But anyway, that's what was wanting to come through today. So keep your energy flowing. And if you are interested, if you would like to feel more comfortable doing a live session, if that's something you want to do, whether you're doing it already or you're thinking about doing it, I'm talking about on Facebook Live, you want to go live, you're like, I know I need to do that, that would really help my students, that would help me maybe get some new students or new clients. We got a cool gift for you. I'm going to pop it on the page for you, and you can go and grab this.
Yeah, it's just a checklist of everything that from going live for so many years and so many times and making all the mistakes that you don't need to make. It's like everything to do before you go live, and then ways to engage while you go live, and then what you can do with your video and your content after you go live.
Yeah, really helpful.
Yeah, it touches on lots of things from noise to lighting to performance, but
we didn't
super
perfect
easy
the lighting
and
tonight,
streamlined.
but we tried.
But you know what? For it to be pitch dark out, we're doing all right.
We're doing all right with a couple of house lamps that are makeshift on little stools. You make it work. All right, everybody, we're gonna sing it out or dance it out. We're gonna do something.
All right.
Here it comes.
All right.
All right, you British. You're married to a Brit.
But I'm Southern.
You're a Southern belle.
We had hush puppies.
She ordered these hush puppies. I did not eat them. They tasted like...
You ate one.
I ate a nibble. It wasn't cornbread. I thought it was going to be cornbread. It was like a pound cake.
Corn cake. It was fried balls of cake.
Much love, everyone. See you next week. Bye now.